Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, I'm getting my boat ready. I'm fixing to head over to Guntersville here in about 45 minutes. And I thought I'd just stop and take a minute and shoot a quick video to address two of the most common questions that I get, whether I'm at the boat ramp, the tackle store, comments, DMs. You know, these two questions come up all the time. So, question number one, is that really a 500 on the back of that boat? Yes, it is. That's a 500R Mercury Racing 500R motor. And, you know, does it need it? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say doesn't have to have it, you know, and is it really necessary? No, of course it's not. But this is a big boat. It's a big, heavy boat. This is a fishing boat with a ton of storage, holds a lot of gear, and it will take a 500. So I put a 500 on it. You know, years ago I sold boats, and sometimes customers would want to save a little bit of money, and the boat's rated for 200 or 225, and they put a 150 on it, and they're really disappointed in the whole shot and the top end speed. So I've just always been a big believer of whatever it's rated for, let's put that on there. So, you know, do you have to have it? Is it required? No. You know, is it something maybe it's a little bit over the top? Maybe, but I love it. It's got great performance. Whole shot is fantastic. Rough water is awesome. It's no problem whatsoever. So yes, that's a 500 on the back of that boat. That's the first question. You guys can probably guess what the second question is. Second question is, how fast does it go? What have you had it up to? What's the top end speed, right? Well, that depends on a lot of different things, honestly. There's a lot of different things that will affect that. The time of year is really important. You know, is it spring? Is it summer? How hot's the air? How hot is the water? You know, all that makes a big difference. It runs a lot faster when it's cool, of course. Some of you guys already know that. Boats run a lot faster when you got cool air and cool water than in the middle of the summertime. So that's a big factor. Another factor is the water conditions themselves. So what kind of wind do we have? A little bit of chop is actually good. Gets the boat out of the water a little bit and makes it lift a little bit better and performs really well. So, you know, a little bit of chop is actually good. So the water conditions, they matter. The current, all that matters. But probably the biggest thing is traffic. So if there's a lot of boats out there and you got a boat that's putting off one of those, you've run into them, I'm sure, big roller kind of wake. I said, where'd that wake come from? Where's that boat at? Well, if you're running what this boat's capable of running, and you hit one of those, and you got it fully trimmed and jack plates up, that's a problem. Things happen fast, right? So traffic is a big deal. You know, getting this boat up to top end, it takes some time. It takes a pretty good run to get it up to what it's capable of running. It's not a Bullet or a Stroker or an Allison. It's not a lightweight boat. It is a big, heavy boat with a big old, 98-inch beam, and it takes a while to get it rolling. So that's a big deal. The other thing is, what kind of gas? Do you have a partner? So look, perfect conditions, all right? Perfect conditions. Spring, good wind, a little bit, maybe just a little chop, no traffic. I'm by myself, maybe quarter tank gas. Everything's perfect, right? Boat will run right at 100 miles an hour, okay? This time of year, I'm gonna run probably 88, 89, 90, maybe 91 most of the time, just running around, just because there are boats out there, and you know, it's not gonna run as fast. Will it run probably 95, 96 right now? Probably so. That cool weather it's really necessary to get those last 5 miles an hour. So that's what the boat runs. But the 500, the great thing about the 500, the thing I like the most probably, is even if the fish ain't biting, it's still gonna be a fun day. Because it's fun to get out there and ride around in this thing. See something jump out of the hole that runs like a jet ski. One interesting thing is it won't run wide open until the oil temperature is 134. So sometimes when you're fishing a tournament and everybody blasts off, you know, sometimes if I'm not in the front, if I'm not boat number one, there's gonna be some boats, they got a false sense of a little bit of a lead, because it's kind of being governed back, and it takes about a half mile, maybe a quarter mile, and then it lets loose, and then you go by them and they're like, uh-oh, what was that? So sometimes it takes a little bit to get it rolling, but once it gets up to speed, or once it gets up to temperature, then it'll run wide open. You got a great hole shot and a great top end speed, and even when it's held back a little bit, it's still running pretty good. So anyways, that's the two most common questions I get about this boat. Is that a 500? And what's the top end speed? So look, if you see me out and about and you want to come talk about it, talk fishing, I don't care, anything, I'll be glad to talk with you about it, answer whatever questions you got. So hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. Be safe. I'll see you on the water.